Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and this time I'm checking out the game Face-to-Face, a duel for two. So the game Face-to-Face is a sequel, cousin, sibling, friend, who knows, of the game. The game was a 1 to 5 player game where you were trying to get rid of a set of cards between 1 and 100, going up from 1 and down from 100. But we're not here to really talk about the OG game. We're going to talk about the game Face-to-Face. So you're going to go to the right, and we might reference you later. But I can't promise anything. So there you go. The game Face-to-Face is not co-op. You're not working with others. You are going face-to-face. The game is also designed by Steffen Benndorf and Reinhard Staupe, with art from, yes, I'm reading it from the box, forgive me, Oliver Freudenreich. So in the game, players are going to have 2 piles in front of them. One will be starting with 1, the other will be starting with 60, and players are trying to get rid of 58 cards, which would be the cards in between 1 and 60, basically 2 through 59 essentially. And there's some mechanics that are similar to the OG game where you can go up in a down pile or down in an up pile, but only on your opponent's deck. I'll get into that in just a second. Anyway, it's the box. It's small. I should also mention that the game Face-to-Face and the original The Game were both published by Pandasaurus. Anyway, enough talking. I'll put the box up here. Hopefully it will fit in the frame. And let me show you the components, which are comprised of a whole bunch of cards. My hands will be right back. Okay, so this is what a setup might look like, where you're going to have a player using the gold cards, another player using the silver cards. They're going to have 2 piles with which to populate, one going down from 60 and then one going up from 1. Players would then draw 6 cards. All right, so each player has 6 cards, and a round basically consists of each player getting rid of 2 cards. So you can get rid of cards in your piles. You can put a card that's less than 60 right here. You can put a card that is more than 1 right here. Remembering that the whole object is to get rid of all of this deck into these respective piles, with some exceptions into your opponents. I'll get into that in just a second. That's the actual goal. So if I jump from 1 to 12, well, I mean, that might be all I'm able to do, but I've also skipped 2 through 11. If I jump to 13, that's not great, but I mean, I'm getting rid of a card, which you have to do. The game ends immediately when one player cannot play 2 cards. When one player cannot play 2 cards on a turn, the game ends, the other player wins. However, like I said, you're just adhering to what this is. So anything going here needs to be more than the 1 or more than the card that was placed down previously. So I can go from 13 to 42 to 52. If I wanted, same here, I could go to 34. That's skipping a whole lot of numbers, but if that's all you have, it gets tricky. The rules about placement are less than 58. Rules about placement are less than 60 or less than whatever number is there. More than 1 or more than whatever number is there. But there are some ways to get around that. So let's say I go to 13. Not great. But there is a way I can bring it back down. I can place a number that is 10 plus or minus what is already there. So even though I've gone to 13, I could jump back down to 3 because there's a difference of 10. And that works this way as well. So I could go all the way down to 34, but then I would be able to go back up to 44 because there's a difference of 10. And that works for all the piles. So you are able to somewhat recover because you can bounce back up to a number that is lower or higher, thus giving you more breathing room, a little more space with which to continue playing, and you have to get rid of 2 cards. So Once you get rid of 2 cards, if you use both of your cards on your piles, you would just draw 2 cards from the deck, your deck, and the game will continue. And let me also just be specific that you are tasked with playing at least 2 cards. You can play more than 2, but you have to play at least 2 to keep playing the game. So you could play 4 on your own piles. You could play 8. Wow, that's some interesting shuffling. But you have to play at least 2. So like I said, if you only put cards on your piles, you would just draw back up. You would just draw 2 cards, just 2, and put them in your hand. So even if you played 4 cards on your side, you would still just draw back 2 cards. Now, you are able to play a card on your opponent's side. So let's say my opponent had put a 10 there. Well, yeah, you can't go back down from that. let's say my opponent had a 10 there, and I only was able to play this, and I had nothing else that would work. Now, clearly I do, but let's say I only had this 42 and a 6. I could play a 6 on my opponent's deck because I'm helping them. You can only play a card, one of your cards, on your opponent's side if what you're doing is advantageous to them, meaning in their ascending pile you would go down, in their descending pile you would go back up. If you essentially help them, if you help the person that you're playing against, you are rewarded in 2 ways. 1, you got rid of another card, yay for you. 2, instead of just drawing 2 cards when you play on your side, you get to draw back up to 6. So there's an interesting incentive to play cards on your opponent's side because you get to draw more cards from your own deck and you get rid of more cards. Why is this upside down? Has it been bothering anybody else? Was it just me? Okay, sorry. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. So, my thoughts. I was introduced to the original, the game, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, probably about 3 years ago. And I went from that to, no, I think I got The Mind. And then a buddy of mine was like, hey, you heard of this game called The Game? I was like, what do you mean The Game? He's like, no, it's called The Game. I was incredulous that the game was called The Game. I still kind of am. But I did enjoy playing the game with my family and others. And I would say the same for the game Face to Face. It's nice to have a competitive twist on it. So the actual gameplay, I mean, the game can be tough. Like, it can just be, we've had games where you just couldn't play 2 cards and the game just ended. It just was what it was. So it happens. But I do enjoy it. It doesn't take very long. It says about 20 minutes, and that's pretty accurate. Like, if someone's doing pretty well, they can certainly wrap it up in about 20 minutes. The game is fun. My only real gripes with the game are, I'm going to be honest with you, I just don't understand why it's called The Game. Like, I guess it works because they keep doing it. I know there's another one called The Game Easy something. Yeah, there's a version called The Game Quick and Easy. I do think that the artwork, the more colorful and flower-like and floral artwork of this version of the game is better. Like, I know this is competitive, but I feel like had the game Face to Face adopted more of this artwork, I think it'll be more appealing to people. Because I've seen this in Target and kind of in close proximity to the Unos and the Sushi Go's of the world, and I think it belongs there. The game is fun. I do enjoy it. I feel like if you play the original and you enjoy it, I think that Face to Face is still worthy of your time. It's a fun game. I do enjoy it. I do recommend. I don't understand the artwork, like the skull. Like, the game is so. It has so much that mass market, appeal, and it deservedly so. I don't understand why, like, the death and this is The skull, why? That's my only gripe. Like the game itself is fine. Like I think it's fun. I do enjoy it. Aaron recommends. I just don't get the artwork at all. It seems just ominous. It seems just inexplicably ominous for some reason. Like the game. Like I know it's face to face, but you could have had like goofy faces there. Whatever. I'm not an artist. I'm not a designer. I'm not trying to sit here and armchair that I know better. But I just feel like this is so much more pleasant. But and even the cars, like that. Yeah, I don't know. This weird planetary looking shapes and flowers and vines and things like cacti. This is gold and silver skulls. Whatever. The game is still fun. Still check it out. That's gonna do it for me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe, please. Leave a comment. I do enjoy those. And that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Take care. And be blessed.